Good evening and welcome once again to the Celebrity Creator Show. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited for tonight. But first, Kathy, how are you doing tonight?
Brian, I am doing awesome, and I am as excited as you are as well. And we've been off the air for a couple of weeks, so welcome back, and we're excited to see everybody.
Yes, it is nice to be back in the saddle again, and thanks all for coming on and watching with us live tonight because we have a fantastic, tremendous, stupendous guest on tonight. We're going to give you a brief introduction about this gentleman, and I kind of kid on that. Our guest is Tom Antion. He is an internationally acclaimed expert in internet marketing for small business. He is a full-time professional speaker who has been featured on major news media worldwide, including the Canadian Broadcast Network, the Australian Broadcast Network, Associated Press, the Tokyo Today Show, and hundreds of radio, television, and print outlets across the United States. Tom has a very simple three-pronged attack on internet marketing, which is extremely simple and easy to understand. And Tom, as he will profess to you, is not really a techie. All he cares about is where to click and make money. And he teaches his students the exact techniques he uses to pull in $75,000 to $220 in a month from his home office. These consistent, high-profit, low-overhead internet sales have made Tom an internet multimillionaire in a very short period of time. Man, it just gets better and better. Since Tom consistently makes large sums of money, and he's our very good friend as a result, while sitting in front of his computer, this gave him the idea for his infamous butt camp, yes, you heard me right, butt camp seminars, where you learn to make more money sitting on your rear than going out and working for a living. I love that. Tom has students in his mentor program who are e-millionaires, and many are making $5, $10, $15, or $20,000, that's in US, per month. Tom has the largest internet magazine in his industry with over 130,000 subscribers in 80 countries, and I'm sure that number has grown even since the time we saw this tidbit of information. We're almost done, I promise. He is also the author of the only video seminar of its kind, the Wake 'em Up Video Professional Speaking System. This training course is considered the standard for training professional or aspiring professional speakers in the art of speaking and the science of marketing, professional speaking, and training services. He is also the owner of the only facility of its kind in the world, the Great Internet Marketing Retreat Center. If you haven't been, you need to check it out. In addition to his recently opened Internet Marketing Training Center, this is brand new, which offers certificate courses that are designed to prepare students for jobs in the e-commerce industry and also to build their own profitable online business should they choose to do so. Whew, I'm tired now. We could go on and on about the many talents and accomplishments of Tom, but rather than do that, I'm sure you just want to meet the guy himself. Why don't we just introduce him, Mr. Tom Antion. Tom, welcome to the Celebrity Creator Show.
Hey, Brian, Kathy, how are you?
We're doing awesome. We should be saying welcome back because you're
welcome back.
Absolutely.
Yes,
I'm still sitting here laughing, Brian, because you, according to your figures, if I made $220 a month, I would be, I think, 287 years old before I hit multimillionaire.
Oh, did I leave off the 1,000?
You said 200. You said up to $200 you make, Sonny.
I saw you laughing. I didn't know I goofed that bad.
Yeah,
it's 220,000 a month. Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right.
I kept my composure. You noticed that, right?
I couldn't. But I'm glad we're here today and we've got a fresh new topic for it. Really taking the internet by storm and helping a lot of people.
You know what's really interesting? Brian and I had talked about this a bit after we spoke with you and found out this was what you were going to be talking about. I've got to tell you, I did just a minute bit of investigation on it because I kind of wanted to be surprised along with our viewers. So I do have a little bit of insight because of some connections we have that I think have used what you're talking about. But one of the things that I want to ask first off is, what does crowdfunding mean?
Well, yeah. Do they know what the topic is supposed to be for tonight?
Yeah, it's all over. They're watching on celebritycreators.com.
Yeah.
It's right
Good.
above
Well,
us.
crowdfunding and sometimes known as crowdsourcing, is where you get a lot of people to contribute to some type of creative project, endeavor, invention, something that you are going to come up with in the world. And the beauty of this is that you don't have to pay the money back. It's just an amazing concept, and it's not actually a new concept. I kind of crack up at this because I actually contributed to a crowdfunding movie production almost 30 years ago. So this isn't a total new thing. It's just kind of new, and the concept has hit the internet, and it's being administered on the internet much more easy than it was in those days when you just go around with your hand out. But it's basically getting a lot of people together to fund creative projects. It's a simple concept.
Fantastic.
So that can be anything, I'm guessing.
Well, just probably anything legal. I don't know if you wanted to learn how to be an assassin or something. You know, you want to go to hitman school. It's probably not going to work so well. But yeah, so if you want to write a book on something, if you want to invent something, you know, there's one guy doing a documentary movie because he has a little tiny business up in, I think, Connecticut, where he makes T-shirts and promotes the kale industry. Kale, K-A-L-E. So he has
You mean like the vegetable?
Right, and so he has T-shirts that say "Eat more kale." Well, guess who sued him?
Oh no.
The Chick-fil-A people sued him.
Chick-fil-A?
Yeah, for eat more chicken, and claiming copyright mark infringement. And so he's doing a documentary about this to combat these big corporations, you know, crushing little people. And I'm not commenting on whether they have a legitimate case or not, but I'm pretty sure they didn't trademark "Eat More Kale," and they even spell things differently. So he's doing a documentary about this to, you know, so it's just something that happened to him, and so he's making a creative project about it.
Very interesting.
Now, you know, crowdfunding is a relatively new concept, and it sounds remarkable, and I can't wait to dive into even more details. But a lot of people might be more familiar with the concept of having an angel investor or investors to invest in their business. How would crowdfunding compare to that? Is it anything like it? Is it completely different? Is there any way?
Well, no. I mean, the way it's different is you don't have to pay back anybody that participate. We don't even call it a donor. We call it someone that participates in your project with you. See, an angel investor is expecting a return on their investment. They're not doing it out of the goodness of their heart, and we can get into some of the reasons that people do participate in these things, but it's a whole different animal. You do not have to pay this money back, and that's makes it a world different from an angel investor who pops in and wants a big piece of your company or a high return on their money. So totally different concept.
Well, with that being said, though, you had talked earlier about the fact that we can approach people in a different manner because of the internet, so it makes it a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
But doesn't it leave it open to, you know, kind of scrutiny and maybe not feeling really comfortable about who's on the other end? I mean, you have to have some kind of credibility. How do you create that credibility for the people that you're looking to donate to you?
Well, that's been an interesting what appears to be a problem, but you know, it hasn't turned out to be a problem. And I'll tell you the one of the differences is I do hear a little echo. Is that the echo you were telling me about earlier? Doesn't seem too bad. Do you hear it? Okay?
A little bit.
Good.
I don't hear it.
Okay, good. So a lot of people ask me, well, why couldn't you just collect the money on your own website? Well, you could actually, and these companies that help you with this do take a percentage of the money. So you do give up a little bit, but the thing is most of them scrutinize your project before they put it out to the world. Now, they don't come and they don't do forensic analysis of your books, you know, your ledger sheets or anything else, but they really try to make sure that your project is really thought out well. And I know the people that I helped do it got turned down the first time because they hadn't fleshed out and shown that there was a lot of effort into this creative project. So that's one thing, one way that people are scrutinized. And the second thing is that a lot of times you're starting out by hitting up everybody that already knows you. So if you don't come through, all your friends and relatives and everybody else are gonna skewer you. So you would think it'd be more of a problem than it would be, because again, nobody comes and checks what you actually did with the money or anything. But it has not appeared to be a problem out in this marketplace that a lot of fraudulent people have hit this arena yet.
You know, that brings up an interesting question that we had coming up, and Jason Nast is asking it as well, and it has to do with the legality of it. I mean, is this legal in all states in the United States or even globally?
Well, first of all, we don't accept questions from Jason Nast.
Sorry, Jason, you heard it.
Well, the thing is the reason I kind of think it's a funny question is anybody can take their money out of their pocket and give it to somebody else. Now, there's no 503c charity stuff here. There's no tax deduction for the person participating. There's the income is just plain income to the person receiving the money. So there's just no reason for any legalities. The only thing that I believe would kick in as a legal issue is if someone put up a project fraudulently with no intention of doing it. That would seem to me to be the legal issue. But anybody can give money to anybody they want, but they can't take a tax deduction for it. And the person getting the money has to claim it as income. So there's no legal issues involved that I could see.
Very interesting.
Glad you said that about taxes. That was going to be my very next question. Are there any other kind of tax ramifications you can think of that might possibly tie into this? I mean, on the receiver side, just claim it as income, and it's that simple. Wash your hands and done. And on the other side, they cannot claim the donation. Is that what you're saying?
Well, right. It's if most of the people. Well, I suspect. And again, I'm not an accountant or an attorney, but I suspect if there was a charity, a legitimate 503, whatever that is, 503c, I think it's called, charity, did one of these, that might be a different story. All right. But for the average person that's not going through that scrutiny of becoming an actual charity, it's basically income, and it can be offset by the business expenses that they use the money for. But it's to me, it's just income in and then offset by expenses for doing your project. So I just don't see any big problems with it, and I haven't heard of any when I did my research on this. Nobody seemed to bring that issue up at all.
Interesting.
I mean, it almost sounds too good to be true.
Yes.
I mean,
Well,
you
I
can
mean,
just
it
get
does,
money.
because it's like you put yourself out there on the internet and you're saying, I've got this deal going on. Will you help me? This is what I've seen. It looks like you set up different amounts of money and just say, would you, this is what it is. Will you donate?
Well, I'll tell you what, there's crazier precedences than this. I mean, there are sites out there today with females asking for donations to finance their boob jobs. All right?
Are you on crowdfunding?
No.
Oh!
No, crowdfunding. I guess that a creative
you
endeavor.
started something new.
No, they have sites long crowdfunding came along, but I tell the girl just get one to see if they like it first. Get two.
We got to make sure it's a package deal.
Yeah, I actually saw a billboard. I have a picture of it. There was a surgeon saying that breast. That's 2 for 1.
Oh my goodness.
So anyway, this is like a lot more things going on in this crowdfunding, but you don't have to pay the money back, and that's why I said it almost sounds too good to be true, and that's why going with some of these big, powerful sites that like for instance, one of the is Kickstarter.com, and this has nothing to do with the shopping cart I promote, but this is Kickstarter.com, but they're in cahoots with Amazon. So they have a lot of these places have pros and cons, and one of the little hassles of Kickstarter is that you have to have an Amazon account to contribute money. And so that's a hassle for some who don't have an Amazon account, but for Amazon, they get a lot of people signing up to get Amazon accounts, and Amazon takes, I think, 3% of the total take. Kickstarter takes 5%. It's about 8% for the privilege of being in their system with their high credibility. So there are fees against the money that you get. It's not clear, but everything that's left over is clear after the percentages are taken off.
That is just sheer brilliant.
One of our viewers is saying, okay, so let me get this straight. So I have put together a well thought out business, and I just ask for donations and people give me money.
That is the way it boils down. That's what we're talking about tonight. And again, I mean, it sounds too good to be true, but all you have to do is type in Kickstarter.com, and you'll see literally thousands of people that have done this, because they usually brag about, you know, all their success stories. And some people don't raise all their money, and they don't get reach their goal. So you'll see those on there too. But there's other ones like Indiegogo is another major site. It's INDIEGOGO, Indiegogo. And it's another major site. Hey, there's even one called fundageek.com.
Fund a geek?
Fund, F-U-N-D, geek.com. So it's more for technical projects. In fact, there's hundreds of these sites out there.
What was the Kickstart one? What was that?
Kickstarter.com is the big kahuna of all that's tied to Amazon.
Kickstarter.com. Okay.
Now it does have a major downside too that you have to prepare for. If you set a goal of how much money you want to raise on Kickstarter, and you don't get to the goal, you don't get any of the money. Nothing.
Oh, you don't?
No, and not that they steal the money from you. It's like they take the pledge of the money. And if you reach your goal, then Amazon runs all the charge cards and you get the money. If you don't reach your goal, you don't get any of the money. So they don't run anybody's charge.
Oh.
So one of the best practices that everybody should write down out there is you set your goal very reasonable so that you can for sure reach it, because you can also overfund. The Rain Hagstrom from the Pickout Artist is the one that I'm borrowing her house here for the internet connection today. She's the one with her and Nicole Drake. I think they did 141% of their goal.
They kicked butt on that.
Yeah, and I'm going to go over on tonight's call a lot of the things that they did to make that happen. But anyway, one of the things is you set your goal reasonably so that you get the goal and you get the money. Now, you do want to have another best practice is to have a contingency plan. So nobody is going to complain if you have a friend standing by. Let's say you wanted to raise $2,500. You only made it to $2,000. So you get your friend to put $500 towards it, and then you pay
him back.
All right. So that you absolutely, and this is not any kind of underhand thing. This is well known in this community that you want to have a backup plan. Now, that's only for Kickstarter. Indiegogo doesn't do that. Whatever you raise, you get. All right, minus the percentages. So each one of them has their own little quirks, and not, each one isn't right for every kind of person or project. So it's best that the viewers out there check it out. Just check out. There might be a little niche sourcing one that's better for them depending on their project. So it's like anything. You do your research to find the best tools for you.
Now let me ask you kind of I think is interesting. What if you have, my brain is just like on, what if you have several different projects? Can you go through different channels and avenues and have them going on at the same time?
I think yeah, I don't think I would try to do a project simultaneously with another one, because the
Okay.
people that are helping you are going to be confused. You know, what do you want
Okay.
me to help you with? And you're trying to double dip it and getting them to help you on two things, rather than doing one of them right and then maybe coming back another time and doing another one. So I'm sure, I don't think there's any regulation against it, but I think you'd have trouble concentrating your efforts to get people to do this. I mean, it's hard enough to get them to do it when there's one project, let alone having them splitting and they don't know what to do then. I mean, you know, if you have to go sign up for an Amazon account, I know Rain, you know, had to text, you know, some of her friends 20 times, some of her best friends, because it was just a little bit of a hassle to do it. So they eventually came through, but two projects or more, I can't imagine. It'd be too much hassle, too
Well,
much confusion.
so it's not set for any particular business or industry. It could be for pretty much, it sounds like anything.
Just about. I mean, there's, like I said, there's inventors out there that are doing things. There's one guy, I don't know the names of all these people, but this was I really read about this guy who he invented, or he was trying to get a little bit of funding, I think maybe $8,000 to do a prototype for a tripod that would hold an iPhone. See, because an iPhone doesn't have a hole in the bottom
Mm.
to
It
screw a little
doesn't.
tripod in. So
Oh, it doesn't.
no, see, so he wanted to invent this little tripod with a bracket on it that would hold your iPhone to shoot videos. So he was asking for like $8,000. I don't hold me to the figures, but I think he got something like 164,000
Oh my.
Oh my
because
goodness.
yeah, because it started spreading on all the tech blogs and the iPhone and
Well, doesn't
iPad
he get to
blogs.
keep all of that?
Yes, he gets all of it minus the percentage. Yeah, and so he was not only able to make his prototype, he was able to, you know, roll out a manufacturing and the whole bit.
Wow.
And so this, another best practice is that once you reach your initial funding, you want to have in mind what you're going to do with additional money so people feel like giving it to you. So
Right,
I
right,
know
okay.
with Rain, you know, the initial funding was $2,500, but I said you have it ready that if you exceed 2,500 and you shoot for 3,500, you have to tell the people what are you going to do with this extra money. You're not going to just shove it in your pocket. So she said, well, if we get this extra goal of 3,500, we're going to print up a lot more review copies and use it for a lot more publicity on the book. So just a simple explanation that you have a plan of what to do with the money. And this guy, I don't know what, he probably never did he'd get that much more. There's
Yeah, you
another
could
lady.
like build that little thing and go to the Bahamas.
There was another lady I read about who she was trying to help underprivileged neighborhoods with books and reading. And she would actually go and read to the kids in
Wow.
underprivileged neighborhoods. So she thought, I want to start a little bookstore for
Mm.
just minimal cost of the books. And she needed $4,000 for the initial rent. She ended up with well over 100,000 because
Wow.
people thought, great project, you're
Wow.
sacrificing, you know, time and effort for these underprivileged children. See, so a little bit of tugging the heartstrings and a project that's wonderful can get you, you know, a lot more financing than you originally had in mind.
They said something about if you don't, like with Kickstarter, if you don't get enough funds raised or pledged by the given goal date, that you don't receive it. Now, what's a typical duration that you would set up for that goal date, like from start to finish? Is there any rule of thumb to go by for that? Is it
Well, I think Kickstarters are 30, 60, and 90 days.
oh, okay.
But for most of the people that I have talked to about this, 30 days seems to be, you know, it's hard to keep up momentum over 90
Wow.
days. So with 30 days, you can just really hit it hard, and it's exhausting for a lot of the people that are raising the funds too, because they're contacting everybody they know on Earth and visiting blogs and doing publicity stunts, and you know it's pretty tough. And like I said, in some cases, Rain had to follow up with some of her best friends 5, 10, 15, 20 times. So, and you would think they would get annoyed with you, but a lot of them were just, it's busy and it's one little deal to them. It's big to you,
Right.
but to them, it's just, oh, I'm going to give my friend $5 or $10. And so it's hard to concentrate on that when you got life in the way. So you have to really follow up with people. So it's a lot of work to do this, but the payoffs can be enormous.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you what, Dr. Nast is in the house, and he's got another question. By the way, to the last comment that you made to him, he said he loves you too. But what he's asking is, can you offer people earnings, like the return on the investment for a project if it goes over, or like give them a piece of the company? Would that be acceptable?
Well, I'm not sure. I don't know why you couldn't, but I have not seen that as the norm. When you go look and see, part of the deal is and why I say that people are participating is because they're not just giving you money and they get nothing in return.
Mm-hmm.
Part of this whole deal are called rewards, where if they give you $5, then they get a free ebook or something. If they give you $10, they get a free ebook and a bumper sticker. And if they give you $100, they get acknowledgement in your book, or if they give you $500, they get a producer credit in your movie or something like that. So there's always some reward anyway. But I haven't seen the rewards be financial. They're always some. I would say I've never seen it anything except something related to the project. And it's something that doesn't cost very much to deliver, like an ebook or a bumper sticker. I mean, if somebody gives you $500, putting a producer credit on the movie doesn't cost you anything, say, but it's a big ego boost for them. So I have not seen monetary rewards. I don't see why it couldn't be, but I don't think that's the nature of this system. That'd be more going for investors.
How do you decide what the gift or the reward is going to be?
Well, again, it should be something related to the project. You've seen the telethons on PBS, right?
Mm-hmm.
They show a mini series, and then it's a T-shirt that says "Winds of War" on it, or it's a DVD or something that's related to what the telethon was about. Now, and the answer to the question is just go to Kickstarter or Indiegogo and just look what everybody else is doing and take your pick. I mean, you probably want to have about anywhere from 5 to 6 or so rewards, and you'll see anything from ebooks to shout outs on blogs to T-shirts to bumper stickers to producer credits, acknowledgments, so there's just a wide range of stuff, but most of it is designed so that it doesn't cost the person a lot from their funds. Now, some people will give a printed copy of a book when it comes out. So that's going to be a much higher donation level so that they can afford to send the printed book and pay the postage and everything. So they have to figure that in, because if you donate $5 and it costs you $5 to fulfill it, well, I guess you got the $5 to use for a little while, but you didn't really make any money on the deal. So it's not hard to come up with things as long as they're related to what you're doing.
All right.
Oh, I know that Rain and Nicole, they're doing this book on style, and so they had a cute one where you get a 8x10 picture of them with their kiss marks on it. So it's just a cute thing. So you see all kinds of cute stuff like that.
Real quick, before we move on, just for everyone who's on this show waiting for that magical tip on how to earn 1,000 points for the Amazing Celebrity Creators Contest, I can say it, yes, he can be trained. We will be giving that out on this show, just a reminder. It'll come up a little bit later. And also before that, I want to mention that you see Tom's young, handsome face there beneath us. That is Tom, by the way. He just doesn't have the glasses or the little scruffy beard. I like that beard, by the way. That's nice, Tom. But don't do this right now, but if you were to click right on his nose, that will take you to his Facebook page, so be sure to connect with him that way. And in addition to that, you will want to click on the banner beneath that and check out more information. He has so many projects and businesses in the works. Just Google the guy, and you will find more information. But also, by just participating in our contest, you'll see you can earn additional points just by reading about Tom and all of his various accolades and things that he's working on. And again, we'll give that information out to you. We will send you to a web page that will instantly grant you 1,000 points, which is more than any other action we've allowed. And in addition to that, it will give you a link to get more points, and that will point you to what I just talked about, where you can read all about Tom. It has links to all of his websites, and you can find out how just diverse and incredible this young man is. But
I'll tell you what, Tom has been a fabulous contributor, and we're very, very excited about what it is that you have donated to the Amazing Celebrity Creators Contest. And gotta tell you, Tom, there has been a tremendous amount of buzz all over Facebook, all over Twitter, and all over YouTube, putting information and comments about how excited they are about the grand prize that you've donated. So they are waiting, just waiting in the wings for this.
We can't wait to get them enrolled in it's the Great Internet Marketing or Internet Marketing Training Center of Virginia, which is the only licensed and independent internet marketing school pretty much in the world. It's certainly in the country, but there's none outside the U.S. either. So we're excited to have them there, but they got to go to class if they win this, because we're scrutinized by the state of Virginia, and you've got to attend your classes or you get a probation letter and boot it out. So you don't want to mess up this opportunity. The tuition is $9,100.
Wow.
So Kathy and Brian have made a vehicle that you can get it for free. So I'm excited to see who wins too.
Yeah, be sure to attend class because
as long
you
as
don't
it's
want
not Jason Nast.
Yeah.
He wants it so bad.
You forgot to mention, if you don't attend class, you also have to take a visit to the principal's office, and guess who the principal is? That's
right.
Mr. Antion. He's got that paddle with the holes drilled in it. You don't want to go there.
That's right. We believe in corporal punishment here.
Excellent. I was curious.
I'm going to do this. So Jason said, because we can't hear him, but his response was, "Hey!"
Principal Tom.
That's right.
I got a question on this.
Hey, principal. Yeah.
I got a question regarding, I like to just jump into the marketing side of things. So let's say you post a project on any of those, Kickstarter.com, Indiegogo, or Fund2Geek, or the others that are out there. I'm sure there are quite a few more than that. Let's say you post a project out there. How can you get exposure to your project? Is it just by posting it that you will get sufficient exposure, or do you need to go out and market and make phone calls, etc., outside of just posting the project? How does that work?
Yeah. I mean, if you get lucky, and it's a project that just the website owners just fall in love with, they may post it on their homepage that gets millions of visitors. But that's, the chances of that are slim. You can't count on that. So the first thing you do is you just start making a list of everybody you know, all your relatives, everybody. You compose some letters to them, or voicemails if you leave them a message, or a spiel of what you're doing, why it's good, and that's how you begin your marketing. Now, you do need to make a video. And it doesn't have to be a fancy video, just a video telling people what you're doing, writing the text of what you're doing. These are all things required to even get the chance to do it on Kickstarter. You have to, in other words, they vet you. They want to make sure you're serious. So you make a video, you write up what you're doing, you make the rewards, you submit it, and if it's all up to snuff, they put you on there. And then once it's up there, is when you actually, before it gets approved, or actually you can get it approved, but you don't have to make it go live until you're ready. So this is another best practice. You want a lot of momentum at the beginning. You remember when we were all younger and you'd go to a nightclub and nobody was there, you'd say, it's nothing going on here, let's leave, let's go to somewhere else.
Right.
Well, if somebody visits your Kickstarter thing and nobody else has contributed, they're like, well, maybe this isn't such a great idea. So So you want to, ahead of time, before you make it go live, line up your best supporters, the people that love you and just can't wait to help you. And so the minute it goes live, if you get 5 or 10 of those to kick in, all of a sudden, you see everybody else can see the number of supporters and how much money. They can't see how much money each person has given, but they can see the total. That's a privacy issue there.
Right.
But they can contribute it and how much the total is. So if the first day it opens, somebody that doesn't know you as well comes there and sees there's already 10 contributors and $800, they're saying, wow, this must be legitimate, say. So, but it's up to you to get all your best contributors lined up, ready to go on the opening day to get that momentum going. It's kind of a curve that they've seen over time where there's a lot of people in the beginning. I don't know if this is backwards, all right, in the beginning over here. And then it kind of lags a little bit in the middle. And then near the end of the 30 days or 60, whatever you've chosen, you get a big spike again. So you want to get, if you don't get that first spike to start with, then you're already behind, all right? So you want to get people lined up ahead of time. And then in the middle of the thing, when the normally starts to lag, there's some tricks that I'll tell you. One is you can go back to all the people, so you can broadcast updates to all the people that have contributed to most of these systems. Because if they were kind enough to contribute, they'd probably like to see how it's going for you.
Right.
So as things start to lag in the middle, one of the best practices is to add some more rewards to get people to up their, see, you can go back and up your participation. So let's say they add a new bonus at a higher level of donation. All the people at the lower levels will say, gee, I'd like to get that new bonus. I'm going to go back and up my participation a little higher so I can get this other bonus.
So is that like considered ethical bribes?
Yeah, the whole thing is an ethical bribe. I mean, sometimes it's just going through the motions. I mean, you get a bumper sticker or a thank you or something in somebody's blog, but the thing is, you're giving something back. But this is a way to give you a boost if things are starting to lag. Now, there's another one some guy did, and Rain and Nicole did a little adaptation of this. But this one guy, just as a lark, went on Twitter and said, hey, I'm not going to sleep until I get 10 more contributors to my Kickstarter campaign. So people picked up on that and started retweeting it and said, hey, there's a sleepathon going on with this guy. And it started to spread, and he got his 10 visitors, so he did it again the next night, and he did it for several nights. So basically that's what we call a publicity stunt.
Yeah.
And so Rain and Nicole and little Chloe, who was born on my birthday, I might add, little Chloe, Nicole's new baby, started doing a thing called the happy dance. And Rain was up there.
That.
Yeah, she said, I'm going to do the happy until we get 10 more contributors, and my arms are getting tired. Hurry up. So it was just a little cute thing. And it was sent out to all her people, who then sent it to other people. Some of them raised their participation amount, and they started spreading it around for them. And so I think they got about $4,100, and we're looking for $2,500 overall. So and all those little things help. So you can't just throw it up there and expect all your friends to drop everything in their life and run over there and make you rich. All right, it's a lot of work involved, but these little tips will help you do it.
Well, we've got a question from one of our viewers, Tom. Kelly is asking, is there a particular software to put together the website or video that you would suggest?
Well, the video, you don't need a website because the place gives you the website. This is all housed on Kickstarter or Indiegogo, so you do not need a website for this at all. You can email the bonuses to people or mail them, whatever, and the video could be made on your cell phone. All right, see, these do not have to be super fancy, high production value. Now, if you're trying to get a $500,000 to do a documentary, you know, the people are going to be a little reluctant to give you money to shoot film if you can't even put together a little crappy video. See, so, right. But if you're trying to do a book on child care and you put a simple cell phone video up and just passionately plead for funds because you're very good at taking care of children and you love children and you think, you know, children are not getting a fair shake, it doesn't have to be super production value. So all you need is the ability to get a video and stick it on YouTube, and all the other stuff is done on their site. You just fill in the blanks on their site and it's hosted for them. Need any website.
I got a question about if you are the person that put together this crowdfunding project and you are the one due to receive the money, as the pledges come in, are you able to see who donated how much?
Yes.
Okay. Because that way you could do something like the next 10 people to donate $100, I will give this fantastic reward, so that you can limit the number so that you'll still have enough money when you're done to pay for that nicer reward. And, you know,
yeah, well, yes, you can see who donated and how much they donated, and you can, like I said, you can broadcast and contact them and do updates right through the system.
Nice.
Now, another best practice that I had Rain and Nicole do was to immediately, when they got they're called a backer, is what they're called. Immediately, as soon as a new one would come in, thank them, either text them immediately, call them on the phone. In fact, I learned this from this filmmaker who got 286 backers, and he personally called each one of them.
Wow.
Which reminded me of when I started my business, and when orders would come in, I would call people personally, and it just was such a way to jumpstart your business. I can't afford the time to do it now, but I said, hey, listen, these people just, you know, believed in you. Call them and thank them personally. So they had over 100 contributors. They called them all personally. So wow. I think that helps. See, and there's a method to that madness too. If you just send somebody an email thanking them, that's easy. Okay, I'm glad you did. Beautiful, and it goes in nowhere. But if you call them on the phone and thank them, and they're talking to you, and you're hearing your excitement,
right,
and you're going to spend a couple minutes on the phone.
That goes a long
They're
way.
thinking, well, who else can I tell about this for you?
Yeah.
Where they may never forward the email, but if they're personally interacting with you, they're much more likely to, and it's the reason that I do consultations with people when nobody at my level will. It's because I'm connecting better with them, and they go out and spread the word of what a wonderful guy I am. See, so it's just a simple business technique, and it's a nice thing to do anyway. I mean, besides being a good business, it's just a good practice. So call people up and thank them personally, and it'll really help these projects go viral.
You know, Brian and I would agree on that. I mean, that's just who you are, Tom, because, I mean, regardless of it being a good business practice, you would most certainly. That's just you. You just.
I mean, yeah. I mean, almost every email, I have ways to automate all kinds of things. Almost every email, I say thank you to people. You know, even somebody gives me some crap. Thanks for taking the time to contact me about this. And most of the time, if they're saying, you know, something mean, and I respond to them and tell them why I did something, all of a sudden I'll get an email back that says, well, I'm sorry I was kind of snotty, but, you know, I didn't really understand that, you know. So you knock down a lot of negativity by, you know, communicating with people is all it is.
Yeah, and you're creating a base of raving fans.
One of our viewers.
I didn't hear that.
I say you're creating a base of raving fans that will do anything, you know, follow you.
Well,
to the ends
exactly,
of the earth.
We had a little bit of lag right there. Sorry about that.
No worries.
We've got a couple of our viewers, and one of them, Tom, is saying it sounds like you need to have a lot of creative imagination in order to put something like this together. So they want to know if you agree on that. And then the second one is saying, how long does it take to get the money once it's all come in?
Ooh, good
Okay.
question.
Well, no, I don't agree that you have to be some super imaginative person at all. If you go look at a lot of the projects out there, they're just regular people that need a little helping hand. I mean, you got people doing, you know, their first CD they're putting out, their first book, uh, you know, the little inventions. So no, you don't have to be, you know, any kind of super person to do this at all. And if you go and look at some of those sites, you'll see a lot of imaginative things, but you'll also see plenty of just regular things by passionate people that want to do good in the world. So that's the first thing. What was the second thing? Oh, how long does it take to get the money?
How long does it take to get the money?
Yeah, the only one I know about is Kickstarter, who after the end of your thing, it takes about 2 weeks, because remember, Kickstarter hasn't run the charges yet. And I think out of 100 contributors or backers, one of the credit cards didn't clear or something, and then they notified the person, and then it was just some expiration date was wrong or something. So all of the backers came through, but it does take a while to run all those and make sure there's no chargebacks, and so it's about 2 weeks after you get the money. And in this case, it's less 8%, 5% for Kickstarter, and about 3% for Amazon taking the charge cards.
Wow, that's amazing.
Now, when you're
You
defining,
don't have to pay it back. I mean, that's the whole thing. It's just you do not have to pay it back. You worked for it, all right, to get all this happening, but you don't have to pay it back.
let's say you got a project that's somewhat unique and you don't want others to know every nitnoid detail about it, so they can go ahead and try to copy it or create it. How much of your intellectual property do you need to give out and divulge in order for people to donate? Is there any kind of guidelines to go by for that?
Well, I
That's
think
a
you
good
have to tell them.
question.
I think you have to tell them the big picture. But for instance, this. I mean, the guy that went after the iPod thing. I mean, he didn't tell him his plans for how he was going to do it.
Okay.
He just said he was going to do it. Now, I don't know how many different ways you could, you know, make a tripod for an iPod, but he didn't have to go into great mechanical details about it. So I think you just have to tell them enough that they believe it's a real project and that you're serious about it. But going into all the nitty-gritty details, I don't believe any of your friends care to hear about them for $5 or $10 that they give you. You know, so
That's true.
and there's no exact answer, but enough to convince people it's a real project.
Okay. That's a good answer.
Or Brian, are you talking about other people taking your idea that you're putting out there to get the funds for?
Yeah, you don't want to put your, like we've heard so many times, go tell no man or no person about your project, because you don't want them stealing your idea and running with it. They could potentially be better funded than you and hit the ground running, and your idea's already out there, and they've just
that's
stolen
true, but I mean, if you're broke and you're not going to get your project out anyway, I mean, you got
Good
nothing
point.
to lose, right? See, so
Good point.
I mean, you have other avenues. You could go try to sell
Right.
this project to a big company. But I'll tell you an interesting story. I don't know what the time's looking like here, but I met a guy once who invented some type of exercise device. You've seen them all, some kind of push-up thing where you swivels, you know, something like that. And a big company approached him and said, we like your idea, we want to make a deal with you. And they offered him a deal. And he said, no, that deal's not quite good enough for me. And so here's what happened. The company came back and said, all right, well, we respect that, except here is exactly what we're going to do to you. We're going to steal your idea. We're going to manufacture it in China. We're going to flood the market, the U.S. market, with them at $20 cheaper than you're going to sell them. And you're going to be out, and we dare you to sue us. So trying to sell your idea to a big company is like, a lot of them will just steal it anyway. So getting the money and hitting the market and making what you can with it is probably going to be better in the long run than trying to fight some cutthroat major companies that have ties and distribution and everything else. So that's a sad story, but it's a reality for a lot of inventors.
Yeah. Dog eat
Yeah,
dog.
that is terrible. Yeah, Mary Barnett said, "Oh my gosh, that's terrible." It is.
Right. Yeah, it is. And we don't accept any comments from Mary Barnett either.
You know she's going to come back with something on that one.
I can't hear a word she's saying until later when she gets me.
Right, when she calls you.
Right.
She said, "Hey."
Okay, so she kind of, now I'm gonna do hers since you can't hear her. She's
Okay.
kind of extending it a little bit more than Jason did. She's saying, "Hey."
Well, anybody that doesn't know me out there knows that the more I tease you, the more I like you. So I haven't teased Brian at all today.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, Jason says that you're out of the doghouse and Mary's in, so I think
good.
he's doing. Whew. Well, I'm going to tell you, this has been absolutely exciting. My brain is just like reeling with thoughts and possibilities. And the thing about it is, Tom, it's not just for me. It's people that I know that are working on projects that something like this would be very beneficial to them.
Right. I mean, this is, I've been doing quite a few interviews about this. And this is, I mean, you know, I usually have high content interviews, but this is something that could really help a lot of people. This is usually one of the best things they could hear about, to get funding that they don't have to pay back for their projects. I mean, that's pretty good
That's
deal.
huge.
And like I said, I didn't invent any of this. I just helped some of my students do it, and it just worked beautifully. I mean, yeah, they could have. And another thing is I don't want people to think you got to be broke to do this. There's a couple other reasons you might want to do this. For instance, Rain and Nicole could have easily just financed the book themselves, but they would have gotten all of the participation of all these people. All the buzz would have been missing. See, it would have just been somebody working on a book behind the scenes when nobody knows about it. Now hundreds, or at least, well, probably tens of thousands of people at least know about it because of all the tweeting, Facebook mentions, and all that stuff. See, now if I do a documentary on my scam stuff that I've been working on, yeah, I could finance it myself, but I want more participation in it. I like to know people are really on my team for it and they're excited about it. If I can't get anybody to contribute, you know, maybe I shouldn't do it. Maybe nobody cares. See? So there's more than just being broke to do this. Let's see. It says, I got a notice here from GoToMeeting. Your computer is overloaded. I don't know if it's because I'm a big mouth or what. Would you like to hide all webcams and stop sharing your webcam if you're doing so?
It's all good.
No.
I'm not going to answer him.
There you go.
How much time we got left?
We got like 6 minutes. We're getting close to having to reveal. We need to reveal those 1,000 points pretty soon. I don't know if anybody wants to know how to get that or not. That's online.
I
Watching
think
us on the chat.
it's a good time to reveal them.
Do we have any more wonderful tidbits? Because, you know, the second we give that URL out, they're going to leave our page and go try to get those points.
I don't think they'll go get the numbers. Yeah, I'd like to a lot of people wonder, why would anybody contribute to one of these? So there's several reasons why somebody would participate. One is they would like to help their friend. All right, so that's a good one. Another is you know, if you're listed on some of these sites, there's people.
Still doing good.
What?
Still there?
Still here.
We're
Okay.
here.
There are people that search these sites and just look for projects they like. I mean, they have extra money and they're benevolent people, and they just contribute to projects they like. Another reason is they might want you to reciprocate. So maybe they'll contribute, you know, I'll show you yours if you show me mine, kind of thing. All right, so they're interested in people reciprocating. And the other interesting one that I uncovered was that people that might want to be an angel investor later want to see the project get going on the low end to see if it's viable without having any big money invested. See, so they help it along as a participant, but later on they come in when they see it really works and say, look, I'll be your angel investor. So it's a way to test the waters with some of your projects before you put big money into them. So a lot of reasons that people do this. There you go. Let's see. I got some more notes. I want to just see if there's any notes here I missed that I wanted to tell you about.
Yeah, good. Yeah, people are going crazy on the chat. It's just like running. So.
Well, everybody out there could do this and have, in the next, say, 45 days, have thousands or even tens of thousands. When you go and look at some of the projects, there's people that have raised $300,000 and.
Wow.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, more than that. Well, let's see. Personal thanks. One thing you can do is, if the people don't want to be anonymous, is to tweet and Facebook about the people that have donated. So you're saying, thanking them publicly. That's another thing, and that's even goes back to recognition in the workplace, is when you recognize people publicly, it carries more weight than just thanking them personally. So tweeting and Facebooking about the contributors is a nice way to acknowledge them publicly. Let's see, I think I covered most of the stuff. Momentum, realistic goals. Yeah. So
well, I'll tell you what, what an absolutely fabulous way to fund, from what you've said, just about anything you can think of.
Yeah,
and,
you just go to those sites and look around and see the projects people are doing. You'll be tempted. I mean, I swear you'll be tempted to contribute to some when you see all the nice things people are doing out there.
Yeah, but you know what? It's always nice to have the creativity flowing, and just, I'm excited, Tom. I'm excited.
The way I like
this
it.
just opens up a huge avenue, not only for myself, but also, like I said, to people that I'm connected with. So I'm excited to share this. I am really excited to share this. Thank you so much. Gotta say, we are at the end of the hour, so before Brian gives that link out, we just love you to pieces. Thank you so much, not only just for being the great friend that you are, but for donating the fabulous prize that's going to be awarded to one of the folks that has been participating in the Amazing Celebrity Creators Contest. And just, big hugs to you, and keep in touch. And Brian said it, but I'm like loving the scruff. So.
Well, I met with my agent today on my scam show, and I wanted her to remind her of what of a badass I really am. So I had a little scruff for that.
I love the look, brother. I love it. Yeah. It is gorgeous.
All right.
All right.
1,000 points, huh?
Well, thank you.
Here we go. Thank you. Is everyone ready for the points? Show me the points. 1,000 points for Tom Antion's Internet Marketing Training Center tuition worth over $9,100. Now, just because I give this URL doesn't mean you automatically win, but it does increase your chances. Anyone that's watching that doesn't know what this is about, well, go to this URL once we give it, and you'll have a way to get into the contest. It's not too late. The prize will be given out this Friday. So you're going to have to jump on this soon, and then, again, we'll give you additional ways to earn even more points to get you higher up in that ladder. It's basically like tickets. The more tickets you earn, or points, the higher the probability that you win. It's that simple. And the beautiful thing is the tickets cost you this much. $0.
Do we get to win? Do we get to play?
Yeah, no kidding. In fact, Kathy and I put in secretly like 50,000 points. No, just kidding. So we could, rig this thing. But no, here we go. Here we go. We're going to put Tom on the camera because he is the contributor of this fantastic prize. And the URL will show up on the screen here in just a moment. If I can find how to clear off. I'm having a little technical issue. This is nice. Trying to shut off one of the...
it's it's just adding to the anticipation.
Yeah,
I
like it. Tell you what.
Anticipation.
Yeah, I'll put up our banner, and I'll put up the text over it. Here we go.
It's making Brian crazy.
There it is. Go to HTTP. You don't have to type the HTTP : / or / on many browsers. Just go to the number 1000.celebritycreators.com. That's simple. I'll even paste it in the chat here.
All right, are you guys there yet? Come on, grab those 1,000 points, quick.
All right, taking it away, putting the contributor back on the screen because he is the all-knowing, all-seeing Tom Antion, and we are paying him credence for the wonderful prize, the wonderful friendship, and helping us to really kick this contest in the rear. We really appreciate that, Tom. Can't tell you how much.
My pleasure.
You put, every one of our featured contributors, including Tom, they put their integrity and their name on the line when they joint ventured with us to help promote this contest. So we can't thank all of them, especially Tom, enough for doing that. We understand what it takes to associate yourself with other people and the risks involved there. So Tom took a huge risk by trusting Kathy and I, but we really appreciate that.
We're very grateful. Yes.
Right on. Oh, when
And we've
they're
got
all
a lot
doing
of people on the chat line saying, "I've got mine. I've got mine." So they are staying on here watching and opening up another
one says,
window,
"It's a fake
grabbing
link.
those
Don't
links at the
go."
same time.
I love it.
Oh my
Excellent.
gosh.
Well, that's our show.
Well, I got to say this. Next week we have our 100th show.
The big century.
So we look forward to having you guys next week on the 100th show. And again, Tom, thank you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Hope to see you
Tom.
sometime soon. Brian, I'm turning it back over to you.
And thank you, Kathy. It's been wonderful getting back after our little 2-week hiatus. And as she mentioned, we'll be
know.
back next week for show number 100. And everyone, good luck on that prize this coming Friday. It will be announced automatically through email, so be sure to be on that email list. You're automatically added to the list if you enter the contest. Tom, thank you once again so very, very much. We are about 3 minutes over, but that's okay. We own this channel. It doesn't matter. We love you all, and we hope to see you again next week. Bye-bye now.
All
Bye
right,
for
we'll
now.
see you about.